we're at the 40th annual Thurman Munson Award ceremony that remembers the late, great Yankee captain and catcher Thurman Munson. This event has raised over $16 million that benefits the AHRC NYC Foundation, which assists children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Thurman Munson played with the New York Yankees from 1969 to 1979. He was the catcher and captain. But his life was tragically taken when his private plane crashed while he was practicing takeoffs and landings at the Akron-Canton Airport in Ohio. Since then, his widow, Diana Munson, keeps his legacy alive through this event.
It's hard to believe, those of us who remember the day Thurman passed away, that it could possibly be 40 years later. We call her the First Lady of the Thurman Munson Awards dinner because lending her name and her efforts and belief in the great athletes who have been honored and who have been honored tonight, this would not be happening. So I'd like to introduce Diana Munson. Diana.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back in what I call home. New York has always been home to me because we share the love and respect and wonderful fond memories of Thurman. And I always feel like New York got him more than any other city, including his hometown, unfortunately. So it's wonderful to be back. It's wonderful to honor AHRC for all their wonderful works. Last year I was lucky enough to go visit some of the school rooms and see amazing, amazing work that's being done. And so I'm so proud that we've raised over $16 million in these years. And I'm sure Thurman is scratching his head, wondering 40 years later why we're still honoring him. But I think you all know why, and I don't need to give you the reasons. So I thank the media for also keeping this alive and in the papers and honoring Thurman and AHRC. I'm so happy that we have wonderful athletes and business people and people who are still willing to give and do for others the same way that Thurman did. I've always talked about the things Thurman did behind. He didn't want anyone to know about the things he was doing. I said some athletes will say, I'm going to AHRC home, I'm going to one of the residents, I'm going to a hospital, so have a film crew there at 4 o'clock or whatever. Thurman was just the opposite. He would go do those things, but he would do it quietly without the press being involved. So sometimes I think he maybe got a bad rap because maybe people didn't think he gave back. In fact, I'm here to tell you he did. And so I'm so proud that this dinner continues and that you're all here remembering him. And I know that you want to hear the athletes speak, so I'm going to wrap this up. And again, my sincere thanks for being here.
This dinner has raised $16 million in the first 39 years, and that number will increase substantially tonight. 15,000 individuals in the 5 boroughs are impacted by the programs of AHRC NYC. My pleasure now to introduce the CEO of AHRC NYC Foundation, Marco Damiani.
Now, the athletes we've recognized over the years have really optimized their God-given talent in amazing ways, and we're so lucky to have them here tonight to help celebrate this organization and their own accomplishments over the years. But we're here also to find the ability and disability. And when you meet somebody who has autism or someone who has cerebral palsy who doesn't seem like they can do a whole lot on their own, it's amazing how much is in there to pull out and to show the world that they can contribute amazing things to our communities and to our states and to our countries.
You know, the Munson Awards are not only for on-field excellence, but for community outreach. Our amazing 5 honorees tonight, we'll tell you all about them, and I think you know a lot about them. But first, we'll just call them up to the stage to take a photo with Diana. So Diana Munson, please come back up. We had a planning meeting on dress code, and I introduced Gleyber Torres of the New York Yankees. Come on up. I didn't think this blazer was going to get upstage tonight, but it certainly did. New York Yankee legend and a Thurman teammate, Lou Piniella. Come on up, Lou. First recipient of the Captain Award, New York Met great John Franco. Here's a young man who made his mark on and off the field in his first season with the New York Mets, J.D. Davis. Last but not least, a basketball Hall of Famer and a basketball pioneer, Nancy Lieberman. Folks, that's Darcy Stakem, who is going to receive the M. Anthony Fisher Humanitarian Award tonight. She's the chairman and head of NYC Capital Markets. Congratulations. This gentleman, close to 2,000 major league hits during his career, and almost as many wins as a manager. He's a world champion player and manager. That's a rare feat in baseball. Among his community efforts, the Lou Piniella Golf Classic every February in Tampa, and that'll be happening in a couple of weeks. So here's sweet Lou Piniella.
Thank you. I guess the oldest will go first. Anyway, it's great to be back here in New York, and I'm really excited about being here for this dinner tonight. Thurman was a special person. He was a teammate. He was a close friend that I loved dearly. He was a leader. He was a heck of a baseball player, and I'm just extremely honored to be here. Diane, what a wonderful job you've done all these years with this with this dinner. 40 years, that's a long, long time. And for it to be as well participated as this one is and supported, it's a tribute to you for the love and perseverance and determination you've had for Thurman and for this charity. So we thank you. It's great being here. I look forward to seeing a lot of you tonight. And congratulations to the rest of these wonderful cast of recipients tonight. This is the third one that I get, and my gosh, the other two are hanging very proudly in my office. So Diane, thanks again.
Lou first received the Thurman back in the 80s, and then in 2010 received the Thurman Legend Award, and now he's a 3-time honoree. So congratulations, Lou. You know, it seemed like every time I turned the Yankee game on, this young man was looking up at the heavens watching one of his home runs go over the fences at Yankee Stadium and on the road. Breakthrough season as a sophomore, his second as an all-star. And as great as his work on the field was, he was all over New York in the public schools, teaching kids how to speak English. Beautiful. He was the recipient of the Boss Award given to the Yankee player who personifies giving the most on and off the field, helping kids with cancer. Yesterday he went to the AHRC, one of the programs, and had a great day there. So come on up here, Gleyber Torres.
Thank you for everything. To me, it was an honor to be here, Diana. Thank you for everything. I heard too many history about Munson Foundation, and it was great. To me, it's a special. Know everything about I do in the field. It's just about I do for my community, and just try to help. Like you say, my first language is Spanish. every time when I got opportunity to explain my history, how I learned the English, and how I explain to the kids is amazing. And just try to be simple, try to be great, and every time when I got opportunity to help the people, and just try to do my best. So be here tonight was great to me, and just try to enjoy and try to have a really good night. Thank you.
Okay, next, I think the Mets have only had 4 captains, and one of them was one of the greatest relievers in the history of baseball. Many of his records still stand. Another man who's all over the New York community. Talk about a guy who has helped the March of Dimes. When 9/11 took place, he helped the city to heal. One year, under his guidance, the players donated a day's salary to the Hrc Nyc Foundation, and on and on and on. He's a favorite son of New York, Brooklyn born and Staten Island bred, I think. Welcome, Johnny Franco. And John's another three-time honoree. He receives the Captain Award. He got the Legend Award and the Thurman previously. Go ahead, John. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Diana. Good to see you as always. It's been a while, but I am very, very honored and humbled at receiving this award, Thurman Munson Captain Award. Even though I grew up here in the city, I was a Met fan, but I always watched the Yankees, and I always admired the way Thurman played the game, the way it should be played. I wish he was still around to see the way the players are playing now. He'd probably scratch his head a little bit. But I always loved his grittiness, his leadership, and the way he just helped his teammates out. And when I became captain of the Mets, that's what I tried to do, be there for my teammates, help them out, good times and bad times, but also just try to do the right thing, and which Thurman did all the time. Diana, you have done a great job, 40 years with this foundation. It's been unbelievable. You ought to be commended, and happy and applaud what you have done. But the one thing I like to say, and I know it happened last month, but I still believe that Thurman belongs in the Hall of Fame, and hopefully one day, God willing, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
I think only 5 National Leaguers hit 300 last year. One of them's in this room. It's great. He also hit 354 at home. Only 2 Mets finished the season with a higher average at home. Cleon Jones and Keith Hernandez. That's really elite company to be in. His community works really related to the fire department, very much so. He served as the Mets junior fire marshal, teaching kids about fire safety. Visited a Queens firehouse to have lunch with FDNY members on the anniversary of 9/11. John Franco played Santa Claus for 15 straight years at Mets Christmas parties, and our honoree was an elf. He'll graduate to Santa Claus one day. But let's welcome J.D. Davis, a great hitter. Congratulations.
Well, first and foremost, thank you, Diana, for having me, and the Munson family, and the foundation to have me. It's a truly great honor to accept this award. 40 years ago, we lost a baseball icon, and through the works of Diana and this foundation, it's raised over $16 million and has helped kids throughout New York. And to accept an award that has Thurman Munson on it, it's a truly, I'm very humbled by it. It's my first year in New York, and I know how iconic Thurman is in here in New York, and I truly am blessed. So thank you very much.
Last but not least, the Hall of Famer, a native of Brooklyn, New York, 3-time All-American at Old Dominion, one of the greatest figures in the history of women's basketball. Broke barriers as an assistant coach for the Sacramento Kings, the first female to coach in the NBA, and also the first female coach in the NBA Developmental League. I could stay up here for hours to tell you about her. Her foundation, basketball camps and clinics, dream courts, basketballs to police departments, backpacks to kids. An amazing woman, Nancy Lieberman. Nancy.
If I may, Diane, call you that because that's what Thurman called you. Thank you for the foundation. It's really nice for me to come home. Anytime I get a chance to get back into the city, it's heartwarming for me because everything within my career started here. But if you'll indulge me just for a second. So a week ago, and this is for you, Diane. A week ago Friday, Kobe Bryant and I were texting each other back and forth. And he asked me if I would come out to Los Angeles and put his daughter Diana through practice at the Mamba Academy. We discussed possible dates last Wednesday, and on Saturday night he called me late after LeBron surpassed him, and we were firming up some schedules for me to come out to LA Wednesday, go to his house, helicopter to the academy, and put these young girls through practice, stay with him, and then go back home to Dallas. On Saturday night, Diane, I told him my schedule, and I said I couldn't do it on this date because I was coming here because of you and Thurman and how much he meant to me as a young person, and to be able to have met him. I think he thought he could beat me in basketball, so I don't know who put that in his head. But I met him because I'm a lifelong Yankee fan. Yankee mats in my house, Yankee paraphernalia at my house. But telling Kobe about what Thurman meant to me as a young person growing up, you know, his tenacity, his leadership, and how he honored the game. And then the tragedy that happened on Sunday morning when my son TJ, who plays professional basketball in Tel Aviv, I was at a conference in California when TJ called me and he said, "Mom, sit down." And I said, "Baby, what's wrong?" He goes, "Mother, sit down." And I said, "What's wrong?" He goes, "You haven't heard." He says, "Kobe died. His helicopter crashed, and I thought you were on it." I had not had the opportunity to tell him that it was a few days later. But I thought about your daughters, and I thought about the strength of you over all these years, these 40 years. And at some point, when she can breathe, I think you'll be an incredible person of perspective and understanding for Vanessa and her children. And I just wanted to kind of share that with you because I'm really glad that I told Kobe what Thurman meant to me. In the 20 years that I knew Kobe, he called me because of my tenacity, my grit, my meanness from New York. He called me the Mama Mamba because I played in the WNBA at 39 and I played in the WNBA at 50 because I did not get to have my prime in the WNBA. All I did was play against men my whole life. It's the only thing I knew. So what I know tonight is that we have a group of people, including media, who thank you for being here, who have been so supportive of this charity, of your husband. And I'm honored, humbled, and just grateful that I'm here with this group of esteemed people. I'm a Yankee through and through, and I tried to have my car valet parked at a restaurant in Dallas a couple years ago, and the kid said, "I'm not parking your car, you got Yankee mats all over the place." And I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Hey, are you a Cowboys fan?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Good, they hate you too now, park my car." When you have 27 rings and you have excellence, and the excellence of being the captain of that Yankee team, it changes the world, and you're changing lives of people who need us. So to everybody here, I just say God bless each and every one of you. To my friend Ray, who I've known since I was 15, thank you. And thank you for thinking of me today and to being a part of this esteemed group. So be well, God bless you, and thank you, Diane.
Nancy, tell me how it is breaking a glass ceiling. You became one of the basketball coaches. I mean, that is some accomplishment.
You know, I just feel fortunate. You know, I played this game for love and how it made me feel. I didn't play to be a Hall of Famer or an Olympian or to break, you know, glass ceilings or be a pioneer. I just followed my heart, and it's the greatest love story. It has never cheated on me, the game. It's never defied me. It's always empowered me. And by the grace of God, I've had some opportunities to coach in the NBA, to coach now for Ice Cube, who's my boss in the Big Three, and we won the championship in 2018. And to just show women like yourself, like everybody else, we can do anything we want, but you have to believe in you. And there are such amazing men in this world who are giving us opportunity and are champions of women. And Ice Cube texted me after we won the championship in the Big Three, and he said, NL, he calls me NL. He goes, NL, are you ever scared? And I said, nope. I'm only scared when people won't give me an opportunity. I'm never scared when you will. But my hero, Muhammad Ali, who became my lifelong friend for over 40 years, he taught me to respect everybody and fear nobody.
Didn't your mother tell him that you were the best?
She did. She said, my mom says, my daughter Nancy, she's the greatest of all times. And he goes, listen here, I'm the greatest. There's only one of us. And she goes, I know you're good, Mr. Muhammad, but my daughter. And so that will live forever. I miss him every day. And he taught me about life, love, poverty, racism, philanthropy. Can you imagine a little kid from Far Rockaway having a lifetime with Muhammad Ali as your friend, your hero, and your mentor? How lucky was I? So I'm just trying to make people proud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have a story about Thurman Munson that you can share with us?
Well, let me tell you, I have many stories about Thurman. This guy here was special. He really was. He was our captain, and he was our leader. But he led by the way he played on the field. He played hurt. He played the win. He gave 100% all the time. And he wasn't. You think of him being a little gruff, but if you got to know him, he's a big pussycat inside. He really was. Like Diane mentioned earlier, he did a lot of things. He didn't want any publicity, but he back to the community. And I know he loved the Yankees dearly. He really did. And it's a shame that his career ended on such a tragic note, because if he'd have stayed around, I'm well assured he'd be a Hall of Fame player. And I think with the knowledge that he had of the game, I think if he had wanted to stay around to coach and manage, he'd have done that too, and well. Baseball is a game. It's a job because you get paid, but it's a game, and you got to enjoy what you're doing out there. You've got to be prepared, and then you've got to have confidence in yourself, and you got to have some talent around us. And the teams that I played on, there's a lot of talent there. There really was. We got swept in the '76 World Series by the Cincinnati Reds, a big red machine. And we learned a lot from that experience and came back to win back-to-back in '77 and '78. And the '77 was the first one, so I wear it with a lot of pride. And I remember Thurman being a big part of that one, too.
Hey, any advice to all those youngsters out there that are getting ready for baseball season?
Well, you're talking about professional or amateur?
Oh, the youngsters, the teenagers.
Have fun, enjoy it. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. Pay attention to your coaches. They're there to help you. But listen, just have fun doing it and relax. Give it all you've got, and that's all you can do. If it's in God's plan for your life, you're going to get a chance to play in college. You're going to get a chance maybe to play in pro baseball. And if it's not, at least you've enjoyed all the association, the social aspect of it, and the fact that you've gotten better physically playing baseball.
Look,
40 years. This is 40 years with this event. Tell the audience, $16 million later to the AHRC.
Well, I'm so proud. I am so touched and proud that 40 years later that we're still honoring Thurman, that the athletes are still coming in, that the media still wants to be here and share in the joy of this evening. And I've been to the schools, and I've been to the residence homes, and I see the good works that we were able to do. And it just touches me to know that the Munson family not only gets to remember Thurman in such a fine way, but gives to AHRC.
It's the first year that they're having this Captain's Award, and I'm the first year recipient of it, and it means a lot. I'm humbled and I'm honored. I was a Thurman Munson fan growing up, even though I was a Met fan, but I loved the way Thurman played the game and the way he represented the Yankees and the way he showed his leadership on the field. And his wife Diana has done a great job for the last 40 years in this dinner and raising tons and tons of money for her foundation.
This cameraman here is a Boston fan. Oh boy, he loves Boston.
How'd they let him in here?
I don't know how they did it. And all he keeps saying, and he wants you to talk a little bit about 1986, and he said it was a back and forth series. Yeah. And did you ever feel like giving up?
No, not really, no.
That's good. No, he said it was back and forth.
Yeah, it was back and forth. It was an interesting series. It was a good series. The good guys won.
The good guys won? I guess so. Yeah. Gleyber Torres, first of all, we hear you're going from second base to shortstop. Tell us a little bit about how you're going to make that transition.
I'm back to my position, I think so. My first couple of years I played second base, but I'm ready to back to short and just do my job.
And tell me, shortly, you'll be going down to Florida and getting ready for, baseball season. Tell me how you're going to prepare and what are you expecting?
I'm prepared really well. I got like 2 months already. Just can't wait to start playing baseball. Just as a mentally, just try to stay healthy, try to help my team, and do my job. Try to win games. Nothing, try to help my team and everything.
And I'm Kristal Hart reporting on the Thurman Munson Awards. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.